Hey minions, welcome to Crank It Up. I'm Jim Price, and on this episode of the Gauntlet, I want to talk about Werewolf Changerbots, two things that transform into something else. Like Miskatonic Wizards, I don't know that I would pair these two factions without their Titan, and I'm not talking about Mergicon, who will serve as an excellent coaster during this match. This team is all about the Great Wolf Spirit. I have always been a fan of werewolves, but they do have their weaknesses, and there are times when I understand why they got a Titan. But the more time that passes, the more I am convinced that the Great Wolf Spirit is broken for some combinations. But I wouldn't say that this is one of them. My general feelings on the event kit Titans is that they should create new synergies, rather than strengthening existing strong combinations. And I think that this is an example of a newly created synergy. The Great Wolf Spirit inexplicably lets all of your cards use its talent twice, even itself. The Great Wolf Spirit can be hard to play, as it requires having the most power on two bases. But this combination should not have much of a problem with that. Just a friendly reminder that most is a superlative that includes ties, unlike marking territory, where you explicitly have to have more. The fact that Bruiser can buff itself up to 4 range helps with bringing the Titan into play. Huffy has additional power for her class, and can also move to another base. I'm not afraid to actually use a Howler for its temporary power to lead on another base, because getting this Titan into play is so crucial, and this team has no extra minion plays, so some of those Howlers are going to be dead weight in your hand. To see the synergy, it's best to think about what the Titan does for each faction. 3 teenage wolves get an additional power, which is good but not great. The Titan itself can give any of your minions +1 power twice, which is great for maintaining leader of the pack and moon touched. Drawing 2 extra cards and playing 2 extra actions is fantastic. But for the Changerbots, 3 Bruisers can generate an extra +2 power. 2 Solar Shouts can generate yet another action. Seriously, this team can play 7 actions per turn. What do you even do with all of those action plays? Bring it, minions of Anansi. Leader 2 can generate a total of 4 free power. The 2 touches can generate a total of 6 power. This combination just screams talent-based power, allowing you to brute force your way to victory. To highlight this, consider the fact that you can seed a Bruiser on 1 turn, where his indestructibility helps keep him in play. With Great Wolf Spirit, you can make him 6 power instead of 2, then buff him to 8 with its own talents. A touch played as an action that turn would give him another 6 power for 14, which only costs 1 action and doesn't even have to be your regular action. You still have your regular minion play and any other potential power boost that can come for free. Yet the Great Wolf Spirit can do so much more, and many of these plays would likely go unnoticed. Almost always, Great Wolf Spirit is used to double increase the same minion, because it's rare that you would want to spread it out between 2 minions. But you absolutely could, and Changerbots would want to. The Huffy distribution is actually reversed, where Huffy is the normal 2-slot minion at 4 copies, which means she has above average power for the most common minion. This means Huffy will be one of the most likely minions in play, which means that giving +1 to 2 different Huffies makes them each 4, which is great for Frenzy, because then it becomes Howl. It's so easy for the werewolves to be 4 power that Changerbots are the only ones that need the help, and Bruisers can take care of themselves. Mergicon may be the one Titan who helps with marking territory, but the Great Wolf Spirit provides infinitely better value, and marking territory may not even be needed. If the opportunity presents itself, take it, because it's for 1 turn anyway. Having the mobility of the Changerbots is great in case you do trip marking territory, as you can move off any excess power. And the Great Wolf Spirit provides a great way to do that because of passengers. You can also double tap the talents of actions because they are cards, which was clearly great for the touch. But it's also great for passengers. Huffy will move with a loss of 1 power, but passengers does not have such a penalty. This means that you can get a mass movement by double tapping passengers to quickly move from one base to another. This is great for moving many minions off marking territory's base. Most of the Changerbot power reductions last until the end of the turn, so they do not interfere with leading on bases at all times, which the werewolves want to do. The Werewolves benefit from having 2 additional destruction cards in changing to a gun, which is subtly one of the better destruction cards for the type of minion it can destroy. Because of all those extra actions, you can destroy multiple minions at the same time, which may increase the chance of marking territory. You could also lower your own power on the base, which prevents power creep and increases the chances of having the base linger for marking territory to trip. Technically speaking, abilities that expire at the start of your turn expire before start of turn effects, but changing to the gun isn't one of those, as it doesn't expire, it destroys itself. However, you can still process that before you process marking territory, which allows marking territory to trip, and then you could use one of your many actions to kick off any remaining minions on the base, then move any excess power. While normally you would need to be wary of special sneaking on, Lugaru is actually a built-in backup plan because he increases in power when a base is scoring. That means that you can get free breathing room and use most of your other power deterministically. If someone tries to kick you off, you always have the Changerbot special to push you back on. Unfortunately, given the current rules, using Change Up and Roll On from hand would not trigger Lugaru or Pack Alpha, which is unfortunate, but you can still give yourself presents for an easy second place. While Solar Shout can easily make himself 0 power, having all those extra actions give you a lot of power opportunity. Consider how many power increasing options they have if Solar Shout is camped on another base. You have 4 Mergicon. Matrix of Bossiness can easily be 3 power on a Howler or a Bruiser, and it does not interfere with Bruiser's reduction. You have 2 copies of the Touch and 2 copies of Frenzy. Werewolves have Full Moon, the ongoing form of 4 Mergicon. Combined with their 2 extra cards per turn, they will play these actions quickly, and they have a great deal of destruction immunity to prevent their engine minions from being easily removed. Yet all these extra plays also highlight one of their biggest weaknesses. They can play a lot of actions, but they play cards faster than they can draw them. If Moon Touched is lost, they will run out of cards, and they have no means to play extra minions, but can play a ton of actions, so they have several slow turns without the right minions. With the right minions they can still be fast, but they also have no recursion. Losing some of their key play on minion actions really hurts them. There isn't much of a loss going from 7 actions to only 5 actions, but not drawing those 2 extra cards will be felt. Given how naturally the Great Wolf Spirit pairs with the Changerbot talents, keeping it out of play could be significant. This is easier to do if you have your own Titan, but you need to remember that the Great Wolf Spirit could potentially be brought out for free. To combat this, you could prevent them from ever having the most power on 2 bases by leaving more power out initially. Yes, this can be used against you, but you need to consider that it's not hard to get double-digit free power if the Titan is out. Given that this team can play 7 actions, attacking that capability can also work. Secret Agent would bleed them of cards, possibly minions, since you aren't going to be using all of them anyway. Combined with the other spy cards, you can greatly limit their options. They also play a lot of actions on minions, which Magic Ward can make harder. The mobility of the Changerbots makes it easier to avoid Magic Ward, but Playful Tricks can deal with anything that slips through. Mark of Sleep can severely hamper the extra actions, which limits their burst significantly. When it comes to free power, the Great Wolf Spirit brings a lot of it. That can be Blitzkrieg power, where having the right minions in hand quickly expedites a base. Titans are harder to counter, and their internal power boost can make it easier to play the Titan. But note that Bruiser's vulnerability lasts for a turn if they do use it to bring out the Titan, which creates an opportunity to destroy it. But the overall mobility allows you to create the power spread you need to bring out Great Wolf Spirit, and it will be the MVP of this team when things are going well. What do you think of Changerbot Werewolves? Let me know in the comments. Only 2 teams remain. You should know what they are by now. That's it for this team. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's shut it down.